Hello and welcome to another video. This is a little bit different than types of videos I usually do. There's been a ton of discourse in the Destiny community lately since the Edge of Fate release regarding the loot pursuit, specifically the power grind and the tiering system. And I think this kind of culminated today with Paul Tassi wrote an article, as he usually does, about all discourse within the community, and I just want to kind of go over it, as I think there's a lot of misconceptions with people who haven't fully engaged with the system, as well as people who just straight up don't want to engage with it, and that's fine because nobody really needs the high tier loot. It's there if people want to chase it. A lot of people want it, I think, but they don't need it, as we'll see in a little bit. So with that, let's kind of get into the video and I'll go over some of my points. So this is the Paul Tassi article from today. Destiny 2's power leveling and loot system is the worst it's ever been. I straight up disagree with this. I think it is the best it's ever been. This is the first time since probably Vanilla D1, maybe year 2. Sorry, Vanilla D2, maybe year 2 of Destiny 2 that loot has been exciting. I have made it to the 400-ish realm, and I'm getting basically all tier 4s now with some tier 5 sprinkled in. And when you get those tier 5s, it's actually exciting. I can't remember the last time I've been excited for loot in Destiny. Especially the last few years since crafting has existed. It's mostly been, for lack of a better word, handouts. You can just log in once a week, buy your guaranteed red border, and then in 5 weeks you can just craft your god roll. And I think that did irreparable damage to the game. And because of that, Bungie has kind of created this environment where the community is very entitled to loot. They think they deserve it. They think they like Bungie owes it to them in a way. And I think that's just straight up wrong. And the system as it stands, like, yes, there are some flaws, particularly in the power leveling scenario. But I think it wasn't intended to go this fast. I think Bungie was probably intending most people to get to the 400-ish realm around October, it would be my guess. And then that would leave them a couple months to farm out the tier 4 and tier 5 gear. And this is kind of an artifact of giving us this uncapped power grind, which is what we've been asking for years. Now, do I wish the raids were farmable for power? Absolutely. I would have much rather farm raids. It would have been slower, less efficient, but it probably would have been more fun. Maybe have gotten some high tier raid loot along the way as well. So with that being said, again, his main point in this was that the power grind is just bad. And a lot of people replying to this are saying like tier 4 and 5 gear should be dropping very early on. I straight up disagree with that. Higher tier loots should be aspirational. And as it stands, it is aspirational. And it feels really good to get to that 400 mountain and starting to get the tier 5s to drop. It's genuinely exciting. I'll show you some of the drops that I have so far. And as you can see here, once you hit 450, which I don't think many people are going to hit before Ash and Iron. The hell just happened? Okay, we got to the tweet itself. You got a lot of tier 5s. Like, it's basically all tier 5s at that point. And I guess my recommendation would be people try to hit as close to 400 as they can before Ash and Iron. And then once Ash and Iron comes out, then grind to the 450 to get consistent tier 5 drops. Now, with that being said, it's not perfect. I think, again, the raid should be farmable. Dungeon should be farmable. Those are supposedly coming to Portal soon, TM. So we'll see how that works out. Now, there's been... Where's the tweet? So Bife kind of hit what I've been hitting at in people's not DMs, but like Twitter replies, and what I've been saying to people in person, that we're all coming from this mentality that you need power in this game to do certain things, but this just straight up isn't true anymore. Nothing in the game requires above 200 power, and at 200 you're getting tier 2. And I would argue tier 2, especially for weapons, like you're not really gaining much from tier 2 to tier 5. It's a little bit of bad luck protection, and mostly it's just kind of a flex, like that aspirational flex. It looks cool, like the tier 5 loot looks cool. Now armor, you could argue higher stats, you can do more with your builds, but for 99% of the player base, tier 2 armor is fine. It's not going to make or break anything. And then, but the other part is, where's his other tweet? Yeah, so tier 2 gear is good enough for most people, is what I just said. And essentially, by the end of this expansion, or episode, whatever we're calling it now, everyone's going to have tier 2. You're getting enhanced perks on your weapons, which is really all you need. Tier 3 is only adding a little bit of bad luck protection with the multiple perks. Tier 4, you're getting enhanced barrel and mag perks, but those are really just a slight stat boost, so it doesn't really do much. It's just an aspirational thing to chase if you want to chase it. And people are conflating the want versus the need, I think. Nobody needs the tier 5, people want it, but people don't want to put in the work, per se. Again, there should be more ways to farm power, but I don't think the power grind is bad. In design, I guess. Maybe not design is the right word, but it's not, on paper it's not bad, it's just in the execution of what we're farming is what's making people pissed off about it. But the other side of it is people are trying to do this in a couple weeks when I really think it was intended to last most of this episode or whatever we're calling it. So that people would get to 400 around October and then farm their high tier loot until the end of the episode. Again, so this is someone who has hit 400. They played a trials game today, so as long as you hit 400, you can go flawless. You're getting just showered in tier 5 loot now, which I think is good. This is rewarding. This is the most we've ever been rewarded for time investment. If you put in the time to level, you will get higher tier loots. That higher tier loot serves as almost a form of bad luck protection the higher you go, because you get more perks on the guns. And then also it's just kind of a flex. And then to show this, so this is my friend here who's been farming a lot more than me. And he has full tier 5 sets now, which is pretty cool. So he has quad 100s with this tier 5. He doesn't like the health stat. We've had disagreements on that. But it's very cool to see this. You don't need it, but it's very cool. And again, there's another build, slide melee build, with higher melee for the slide damage. Now let's look at my own loot. And I think this is a very good example of what I'm saying with tier 2 being good enough for 99% of people, if not better. So I got my first tier 5 mint earlier today, and it's pretty good. We got rewind baits, all that kind of stuff. This is like slight stat boosts to different stats. You do get enhanced mods, and again, these are like little boosts to whatever the mags are. It's basically just replacing the adept mag. So instead of adept backup mag, now we just have enhanced backup mag. Same thing, not a big deal. So this is a tier 5 mint, but I think my tier 2 mint is better. We have rewind, honing. This is just a better roll, I think. Extended mag for the higher reserves. And yeah, I like using this one more than the tier 5. Am I using this one currently just because it's a flex? Yes. But that's besides the point. Again, here's a tier 3. And this is just giving that, or sorry, this is a tier 4. Giving that bad luck protection. We also have like a juicer, outrageous fortune. With envious baits, we got the handling. Like this was very a dopamine rush when I got it. It was very cool. So yeah, this tier 5 loot feels awesome to get. It looks awesome. And then the armor, I think my juiciest piece of armor was this hunter cloak. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. So this is my damage hunter cloak with like celestial or whatever. So 30, 35 for super and weapons. Like that is insane. And this is probably the juiciest armor piece I've gotten. The one downside with the tier 5 stuff is this random rolled mod slot where you can like tune it, but it's random on what you can tune it to. So even if you get a juicer piece, it might not have the right tuning, so that's kind of shitty. But once we get high enough, I think we're going to be getting enough of these tier 5s that it's not really going to matter. Yeah, so I've gotten 29 tier 5s in my vault right now, or on characters. I probably infused like 2 or 3, so we're probably sitting around like 32-ish tier 5 drops so far. And yeah, I think the system's the greatest it's ever been. I think it could use some tuning in the types of activities that we use to level. But in essence, all the things are there for like a very rewarding grind. And it's the first time I think that we've been rewarded as players for like the time investment in terms of the quality of loot that we get. And this is very akin to other games like Diablo, Path of Exile, other MMOs like Final Fantasy, where you start on easier activities that gives you loot to get into the higher stuff, and you just climb. It's slightly different here because we're just like infusing our loot into our existing stuff to then get the better stuff. But it's kind of the same in spirit. But yeah, so that's kind of all I wanted to talk about. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the power grind. I've kind of enjoyed it. I think if you really don't want to engage with the power system, the other side of it is you get 2 guaranteed tier 4s or 5 from the Kepler mythic missions each week, which is very good. So you can do that for like nothing. You get the Zavala powerful upgrades each week, which you don't even have to barely play the game for those. And yeah, so like if you go at your own pace, I don't think it's a big deal. I think the issue is people are so used to getting the max power in the first week or 2, and because this is so different, they're expecting the same thing, and they're expecting to just get the high end loot right away. But this is going to take time. This is meant to be a multiple month grind. Some people are getting there faster. That's great. I think it's really cool that we can do it at our own pace. For me, I've hit like the 414 mark, I think, right now. I'll probably be taking a break until Ash and Iron because it will get substantially easier to get to 450, 500 range after Ash and Iron. And then the tier 5 loot will be easier to get. But yeah, so let me know your thoughts below, and hope to have some constructive discussions in the comments. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.